I've listened to you and you told me you want more solo game suggestions. So that's what I've done. I've gone and played my catalogue of games to try and understand what are the best solo games out there so I can suggest them to you. So in this video, I've played 8 animal themed games. Let's go rank them and see which ones are actually the best. It's time to add some serenity to your board game collection, and we have Kohaku. Now Kohaku is koi fish, and there's a whole bunch of beautiful coloured koi fish right here on beautiful acrylic tiles. Now that's the theme, we're growing out our koi fish pond, but how does it play? Well, it's pretty simple. On your turn, you're going to collect one koi fish and one feature tile. Now these feature tiles is how we're going to score the game. They all have different ways of scoring. We might be scoring the colors of the koi fish, we might be scoring the baby koi fish, we might be scoring the dragonflies. There's so many different scoring combinations, and it's that simple. All you're going to do is take your 2 tiles, put it out in your play area, and you're going to grow out your play area. Now this play area is going to be like a checkerboard. It's going to have koi fish, feature tile, koi fish. You get it, like a checkerboard there, and it's just a beautiful, easy game that you're going to be able to play super quick. Now, how does solo work? Well, solo works like this. We grab the top empty tile there, and we're looking for a matching one. If we get a matching one, cool. Solo now gets to collect both of those, and they're going to be scoring those points at the end of the game. Again, super simple solo. If you don't have the same matching koi fish, well, we grab a feature tile and we see if there's any matching feature tiles in there. And that's it. We count up the scoring. We've got 3 modes there. Easy, medium, hard. It's a bit of fun. Solo Kohaku. It's beautiful, serene. Love it. Add it to your collection. The next game we have here is Forever Home, and this really is one of my more excited games I've added to my collection. Now, in Forever Home, we are rehoming dogs, and it just is such a beautiful theme that, firstly, it's such a nice thing to sort of discuss with the kids. I really love that. But secondly, it just does it in a really nice way. So in this game, what we're doing is we're collecting these little dog tiles, and we're going to be putting them on our game board like this. And what we're trying to do is create patterns which match these dog cards right here. So you're collecting dog cards, you're putting out tiles, you're creating the patterns, and then you're turning these cards in for points. So the different ways we're going to score points is we've got 4 different rehomes here that we're trying to do. Foster homes, countryside, suburbs, and cities. So we're going to get points there. But we're also going to get points from this solo board right here. There's whole different ways we can score points. So this one here means if we have a certain color dog and we have more of that color than both of those two combined, we're going to win those points, and so on and so forth. Different ways of scoring, and it's a beautiful solo theme, and it really is probably one of my more favored solo games that I am just getting out to the table all the time because it is simple to play, easy to pick up, and I just genuinely love this game. So if you want to know more about how this game plays, don't forget to go check out my video on Forever Home. I do a solo playthrough, so you'll get a really great idea if this solo game is going to be for you. But there we go, dogs, Forever Home. It's a great idea. We move on from dogs and we move on to cats. And this game for me is the OG solo game. This is the first solo game that I truly got into, and this game's going to mean so much to me because of that. I introduced my partner. This is actually the first game I introduced my partner to. Calico is just warm. It's endearing. It's just such a great thinky game. Now in Calico, the idea is we're building a quilt. So I guess it's less about the animal, less about the cat, but the idea we're building a quilt. But we're building quilts for cats because we're obviously crazy cat people and we love making quilts for them. But Calico, what it is a very thinky game. So we've got a whole bunch of tiles here. We're putting these tiles out on our player board, and we're trying to meet certain conditions. So each game you're going to get 3 random conditions there, and we're going to place them out, and you're trying to match them. So this one here says AA, BB, CC, which basically is telling me I need 3 lots of 2 combos. So those combos can be either colors or it could be patterns. So you're going to notice on these tiles, each of them has their own set pattern. Now we've got different cats here that are going to give us bonus points. We get bonus points for multiple colors in a row. A lot of very thinky ways to score in Calico. But what's really cool about Calico is if you really get nerdy into it, there's a whole bunch of different achievements and things you can do and tick off, and there's just so much in this book. They've really thought about solo. They really thought about what does a person who just wants to sit down and play a game, what do they want to achieve? And there's just so much in there. So Calico, again, is the OG, is the very first solo game that I truly got into. And so I am always going to, make sure that everyone who doesn't know about this game should know about this game because it is so, so good. Calico. Wild Serengeti. Now this is Forever Home, but on African animal steroids. It's an incredible game. Now, what we have here is a whole bunch of incredible meeples, and that's the first thing that you're gonna absolutely love about this game. But the next thing you'll love is the mechanics in the game, and like I said, very similar to Forever Home. So we are gonna be collecting cards. We're gonna be trying to be creating patterns on our board here and then trading those in for points. But there's a lot more going on here. We've got end of round goals that we're trying to achieve. We've got a whole bunch of different actions here we can choose. We can swap animals around. We can move animals 1 to 3 spaces there. We can take some more cards and we can obviously put out all of these animals. Now, what are we trying to do? Well, we're going to try and achieve these 3 different types of cards. So firstly, adjacency cards. We are trying to get animals close to each other and in that sort of order there. Next up, we have got terrain cards. Now we are trying to get those particular animals on those particular types of terrains, and there's 4 different types of terrains in this game. And then lastly, we have got the straight line scene. So we need those animals in a straight line, boop, boop, but they've got to be in that order. So there we go, different ways of scoring. Look, this game is it's just wonderful. It really is wonderful. Now, there's a new one come out. I forget what it's called. Maybe Life of the Amazonia or something like that. But it's basically Amazon themed as opposed to Serengeti themed. Now, solo. What makes solo so special? Well, look, solo in this gives us 6 different challenges, different scenarios that we are trying to achieve there. It's great. It really is one of those games where you can just pull out and there is a night of fun just being a kid and playing with animals, and you get to make the sounds if you want. Brrr. That's like the worst elephant ever. Anyway, Wild Serengeti. Now let's head to the racetrack, and we have Long Shot, the dice game. Now this is a roll and write, but with so much more going on. Now, look, if you don't like betting and horse racing, cool, maybe this theme might not be for you, but there's actually a lot of fun in this box. Now, what are we doing? We have our roll and write sheet right here, and there's a whole bunch of things we're going to be doing, but mostly we're going to be betting on horses. We're going to be betting on horses. We're going to be purchasing horses. We're going to be going to the concession stand, and we're going to be watching these little horses run around the tracks. It's just so much fun, and this game is incredible at high player counts. But I never thought it could be fun solo until I actually got to try it this week, and I was like, what? How have I never played this game solo? Anyway, what we're doing is we're going against Roland Wright. That's his name, Roland Wright. Anyway, you get it. Look, he's got his own board, and the way he's going to be playing is going to be rolling these dice. And then it's going to give us here, this has got a green 2 and a red 1. So it means we're going down the 2 column, and we're going to number 1. It's going to tell us what action Roland Wright's going to be taking. And look, Roland's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to be making bets, going to be doing a whole bunch of things, and it's a great system, really easy to play. And again, we're just going to be watching these horses go all the way around until right at the end, we're going to be screaming, going, go number 2, or whatever. You get it. But cool. Look, on this game, look, it is so simple. I think any roll and write is a really good way of having a solo night in. But if you can change that roll and write into something that's more entertaining like this, then why not do it? Look, Long Shot, the dice game. It's all about horses running really fast or really slow around the track. Lots of fun. Now, I couldn't do a best of solo animal games without talking about Uwe Rosenberg. Now, Uwe actually has two on my list, and the first one I want to talk about is Atiwa. Now, Atiwa is all about fruit bats. Now, look, Juve, he's not, it's not the first time he's had a crack at animals. What about Agricola? What an absolute classic there. But look, he's taking this to the next level now with Atiwa, and we're going into the Atiwa Ranges in Ghana, and it's all about the fruit bat population. And the fruit bats come in and they help sort of cycle through the trees and the fruit, and it helps the people, helps the local residents. And that is what this game is all about. So in typical Juve fashion, we got mechanics like, well, it's worker placement, but we got mechanics like there's going to be a whole bunch of tokens on this action board. You're going to be taking those tokens off and then putting them on your terrain boards. But as you take them off, that's going to get you more and more resources over the course of the rounds. Just standard Juve goodness that gets me all excited at night. Now, what else? Look, we've got the animals, we've got the fruit, we've got the trees, we've got the population, and of course the fruit bats. And that's what the main part of this is getting those fruit bats into our game. Now, how does solo play? Well, pretty much plays exactly the same as the normal game, except what's happening is we're not actually playing against like an AI competitor or anything like that. Just playing against ourselves. But what's happening is every round we're going to be putting down our worker placement spots, but we're going to leave them there for the next round. Then we're going to put some more down. Then we're going to get to the next round. Then we're eventually going to be able to pull some of those back. So what's happening is every round certain spots are going to be blocked because you've blocked them the previous round. It's a great mechanic. And as you cycle through, I'm pretty sure it's something like 7 rounds, but as you cycle through, you start getting those spots open back up again, and just fun Euro goodness there. So that is the first of my Juve Rosenberg double act. Let's see what the next one's going to be about. And now we're talking about New York Zoo. So Juve going into the Polyomino Tetris Pieces game, and gives me serious vibes of Barron Park. I love Barron Park. Unfortunately, I can't play Barron Park one player. Otherwise, this would have replaced this. But anyway, because it's not here, New York Zoo makes this list. Now, what have we got here? Look, we've basically got a board here where we've got an elephant going around, and we can either collect Tetris pieces or we can collect animals. And then the more animals we collect, then we go past these spots here, we can breed these animals. That's going to give us more animals. Once we complete spots, then we get to put out attractions. Anyway, solo. What we're trying to do is completely fill up our park right here. So we're going to eventually, over the course of the game, have all these filled up. We're going to maybe have some attractions out here as well. And that's it. If we can fill all these spaces up before this elephant goes around twice, we win the game. But you know how hard that is? It is so hard. Now, the other way we're going to do this solo is we actually have 5 tokens right here. So what this basically is telling me is how many times I get to move the elephant around. So I can either move it 0 times, so it stays in the exact same spot. I can move it 1 time. I can move it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And basically you only get one of these at a time. Once you've used them all, you get them all back again, and you keep going around until that elephant's gone around twice and you've either won or you've either lost. So that is New York Zoo. It's, again, I love the idea of this. And another game that nearly made this list was Isle of Cats. But Isle of Cats is going to be on my next solo video because I'm talking about fantasy animals and fantasy creatures in my next solo video. But anyway, that's a little cheeky spoiler right there. So there we go. New York Zoo, Atiwa, 2 Juve games in this list. Go check out their solo versions. You knew I wasn't going this video talking about solo and talking about animals and then not talking about Wingspan. Wingspan,